Infirmary Media.
Warning, the following program features content that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. You're listening to the Beau broadcast.
Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to episode 68 of the Beau broadcast. Glad to be back in the basement with you for another week of shenanigans across the World Wide Web. Hopefully everybody had a wonderful Independence Day. You still got all your digits intact. You didn't blow any fingers off or toes or anything like that. Hopefully reverse worked on everybody's hover round.
What you doing, Terry?
It's a hot 4th of July. Not only that, but it's in the middle of the week. It's on a Wednesday, so a lot of people got Wednesday off. The smart people, they took off Thursday and Friday, or they took off Monday and Tuesday, probably the former. I did not. Just had Wednesday off. Like a moron, went to work on Thursday and Friday and just kind of dilly-dallied through the 2 days that nobody else was there. But if you did take Thursday and Friday off, good on you. That's a smart move. Spent most of my 4th of July. I didn't watch any fireworks. I mentioned that we played in LaGrange, Missouri.
Tomorrow's housing today. Ramsey Jones Homes. LaGrange, Missouri.
For their big 4th of July celebration. We were supposed to open up for Confederate Railroad. And I was all set to watch everybody come unglued when they played Trashy Women. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Their tour bus caught on fire. And I learned this from the Facebook page of a local radio station about 24 hours before the show. They're all okay, from what I understand. I think the bus is, for lack of a better term, is toast. So they had a fellow by the name of Jason Pritchett and his band come up from Branson, Missouri to headline the gig. Great time. It all panned out, obviously, but unfortunately neither band played LaGrange by ZZ Top, which I think is a completely missed opportunity, especially since we play it regularly, but I'm not the shot caller. Pretty wild, though. Actually, it was so hot, so I had to be there at 3 o'clock, so I left Quincy at 2:30. It's like a 30-minute drive. Had to be there at 3 o'clock. We didn't get all finished up with the sound check until 6:30. By that time, I'd already, the heat exhaustion had already kind of started to set in, despite me drinking tons of Gatorade and tons of water throughout the day. So, big old hot day, so we do the set. I didn't stick around for the headliner band set very long. I stayed for maybe 30, 45 minutes, something like that. But I went home, didn't watch any fireworks on the 4th of July, was not concerned with that because I was so exhausted from the damn heat. So as soon as I crossed the bridge back in Illinois, I got a bag of Taco Bell. I came home, sat in my underwear, and I watched NXT on the WWE Network in my underwear and ate Taco Bell. And that was my 4th of July. Emily was out of town. She was celebrating with her family up in Keokuk, Iowa. Apparently they had a nice show up there. But yeah, I was the least bit concerned with watching fireworks this year. So I really white trashed it out on the 4th of July, which I suppose is apropos if you think about it. Anyway, last night, had a lot of fun for a great cause. We held a music trivia that supported an upcoming tour of honor for Iowa military veterans, Man Country. L-Train's teaming up to raise, I believe, over $700 is what we raised last night to put towards getting these veterans across Iowa to Keokuk for a special event. And that includes a trip to the National Cemetery there in town. Good to be part of that for sure. Beautiful night as well. Finally got a break in all the heat here in the Midwest, which is great because I'm tired of having to peel jeans off myself using a paint scraper. It's getting real old. Seriously, it's like peeling. Have you ever peeled wallpaper off of a wall? It's like doing that when you've been out in the heat so long and you're wearing jeans. It's disgusting. I know the logical solution would be to wear shorts or, just go completely bottomless, but there are rules in public. But for some reason, I got to wear jeans when I'm up in front of a group of people. I feel weird otherwise. It's this complex that I've never understood nor taken the time to try to. Another thing I don't understand, I'm in the process of migrating all my dismal life funding into a bank here in town, new bank here in town. This is my first time in 29 years of living that I've switched banks. I've had the same bank account for as long as I can remember it. And it's all been pretty much relatively effortless. I think it's, like working retail. It's something everybody should have to do at one point in their life and experience it. But just for fun, sit down at some point and see how many things are auto-paid from your accounts. It is insane. Or at least it is on my end. And also take note of how many of those are directly linked to your debit card. So like the real pain that I found in doing all this is how many things are linked to the card. So for me, it's stuff like Spotify, Amazon Prime, yes, the WWE Network, so on and so forth. And you can't you can't just put in your account and routing number to like sign up for these things or have them paid for these things. So that's, yeah, it's frustrating. So I got to wait for this new debit card, which I'm hoping comes Monday or Tuesday, because it'll have been 7 to 10 days since I opened this account, so I can switch all that stuff over and hopefully not overdraft, on the old account that they're attached to. The real travesty in all this, though, is that I saw on the old Facebooks that the bank is offering to anybody that opens a new account this summer a camping chair, a free camping chair that has the bank's logo on it, for God's sake. And not once was this mentioned to me throughout opening both a checking and savings account on the same day, and I am upset about it. I am Drake caliber upset about this. Think of all the sitting adventures I could be having with my new bank camping chair. Not only am I in comfort, I am helping to promote the business that gave me this wonderful camping chair that will not be used in a camping setting, more than likely, because I'm not much of a great outdoorsman. Regardless, it's a little upsetting. But you know what, folks? Sometimes life just isn't fair, and sometimes some men, or banks in this case, just want to watch the world burn. Anyway, speaking of fire, we got a super hot show for you this week. I would venture a guess that there's probably not one soul in the world who doesn't remember the MTV series Jackass. It was a game changer, especially for, teenage kids like me at the time that it came out. This was like a whole new breed of television when it arrived. Of course, there were some, familiar elements, but this was kind of like, I don't know, I would almost call it cutting edge. It was a game changer for sure. So this made, Danny Tanner narrated blooper videos kind of a thing of the past. With Jackass, we're talking these outrageous stunts and pranks, and, this eventually became so big it spawned multiple movie blockbusters, a few spin-off series as well. It brought shopping carts into the 21st century. There were probably, I couldn't walk anywhere without seeing a boater in a Jackass t-shirt. So you knew it had become a pop culture icon at that point. Of course, I'd be lying if I said my friends and I didn't try some of these things at home, despite being warned before the show by Johnny Knoxville. When I was probably in like 8th or 9th grade, a friend of mine was getting his roof replaced, and there was a big dumpster at the side of the road by the house. So up the hill, keywords being up the hill, at my other friend's house was a big wheel, the plastic lowrider tricycle type thing. You can pull those badass handbrake style slides with, yeah. One of those monsters. So I decided that, despite being at or around 6 feet tall and rather rotund, I'm going to hop on this big wheel. I'm going to throw my legs over the handlebars. I'm going to see what it'd be like to ride down the hill. See what kind of sick air I could get, right? That wasn't going to happen. I knew that sick air wasn't a possibility. So like if I could avoid the dumpster, which would be an obstacle as it was, located at the bottom of the hill, and I expected it wasn't going to be easy to control this big wheel thing. So I was going to try it and see, can I go down the hill, with my legs over the handlebars? Can I still steer it like that since it's so tiny and I'm so big? I'm going to see if it can happen, right? So naturally, I hop aboard this big wheel. I threw my mossy alabaster legs over the handlebars and had 2 or 3 of my friends push me down the hill. Now, the good news is I avoided the dumpster by about a foot. Now, the downside of this magical journey is that my right leg, from like my ankle, like the roll of my ankle to my knee, is now full of gravel. It looked like, freshly ground 80-20. Not pretty. Bloody, pink. It's disgusting. Luckily, my house is just on the other side of this place, so, I kind of hobble my way back over there for the next 300 to 500 yards. Go inside, try to avoid my mom because I know that she's going to, but there's no way that over the next few weeks while this is healing that mom's not going to see it. Because it's summertime and I'm, wearing shorts and all that stuff. So I don't remember what I told her. It was actually probably the truth, strangely enough. And she probably thought, what have I done? Like, how am I raising this? What is he thinking? Is he an idiot? Yeah. So, yeah, I think I probably told her the truth. And she probably just kind of gave up all hope that I would have any sort of successful future moving forward. Anyway, regardless, Jackass, its lovable cast, I don't know if this is the right word, but inspired a generation. Certainly left an impact and an indelible impression on a whole generation. And one of its favorite cast members is going to join us next. You may know him as Chief Roberts, Bunny the Lifeguard, or most definitely Party Boy, Chris Pontius. This is wild. This is insane for me to say this. Chris Pontius is up next to talk about his latest movie that also stars fellow Jackass alum Johnny Knoxville when we come back to the Beau Cephas broadcast.
The Beau Cephas broadcast.
Introducing Amazon Basics 42-gallon contractor trash bags. Made of 100% plastic, these commercial quality bags offer supreme flexibility, dependable strength, and disposable convenience. Unlike thinner garbage bags, this 3 milliliter thick trash bag provides enhanced performance and outstanding strength with minimal chance of tearing or breaking from heavy loads, pointy edges, and sharp objects.
Damn, Daniel.
The thick material works well for reliably containing building parts, hardware, and other bulky debris.
Oh my God!
The 42-gallon bag provides a roomy interior that can accommodate a wide range of trash and debris.
Damn!
No need to spend time breaking trash into smaller pieces just so it'll fit inside.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
This extra large bag holds an impressive amount, which means less time spent closing full bags and opening new ones.
Yeah!
Amazon Basics 42-gallon contractor trash bags. Take your garbage game to the next level.
We now return to the Beau Cephas broadcast.
My guest today truly needs no introduction, but he's getting one anyway. I grew up watching this guy dance, nearly nude in retail stores, save lives in a bikini and a pair of bunny ears, and have his genitalia put in compromising scenarios in the outdoors of faraway lands. He's currently starring in the new film Action Point alongside Johnny Knoxville. An absolute delight to welcome to the program, Mr. Chris Pontius. Thanks for being here, man.
Thanks for having me, Beau. How are you?
I'm great. This is a trip. I never thought I'd have this opportunity, so I really appreciate you coming on. You're in the midst of making the rounds for Action Point. Tell me about this movie.
This movie Action Point is based on this theme park that existed in New Jersey. It was like kind of a ramshackle place, and the owner designed all the rides and tested them himself. And I think it has the worst safety record of any theme park. And one of our producers, Derek Frieda, he told Johnny Knoxville about it, and so this is a great idea to make a movie around, and that's how it started. And so eventually they came up with a script, and we filmed in South Africa last year. Yeah, it was one of the funnest things ever.
So this seems like the next kind of evolution in the Jackass franchise, or at least kind of like loosely, the outlandish stunts, the pranks are there, but they're kind of interspersed with like this linear storyline. Did that make like filming this easier, or did it make it different than what you're typically used to?
It was like a regular. It was fun, like making Jackass is fun, but it's not supposed to be like Jackass Presents, and it's not supposed to be another Jackass movie. It's just it's a movie with, like a lot of Jackass flavor to it, but it was definitely like something new. That was the biggest acting part I ever had, but that came pretty natural, and it was all the stunts though were really gnarly. Like with the Knoxville got hurt quite a bit, and as he does, and yeah, it was a trip filming in South Africa too, like. Because like a lot of it looks, the movie's supposed to take place in California, and a lot of that looks like California, but there'd be like zebras running through the set and stuff, and it was awesome.
So you were kind of at home in that aspect, right? With
Wildboyz.
Wildboyz.
It was like, it reminded me of Wildboyz so much, and South Africa is just awesome, and it's a cool place. Like, and I just like being away from home anywhere on an adventure, and we were there for like 3 months, so. I got to go out in the wild and stuff a lot too, like, and I didn't get to do great white shark stuff. When we were there, like, there was orcas, like, killing all the great white sharks, actually. Like, they figured out that they liked the taste of their, was it their lungs or their kidneys?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it was their kidneys. Or, their livers. That's what they liked, their livers. They decided that they liked the taste of great white shark liver. So they would, all these great whites were washing up on shore, like, with their livers, like, bit out. And, like.
Yeah, that's a welcoming scenario, right?
Yeah. Killer whales are crazy. Like, if one figures something out, like, he teaches it to the rest of his pod. like in those beaches in Argentina where they slide up on shore and they grab the seals, then they bring them back out to sea and huck them around, teach their like young how to hunt and stuff. Like one of them figured out like 80 years ago that you could do that at this beach, and he taught the rest of them, and now the descendants are doing it. So
it's just like a learned like behavior then.
Yeah, that's how they're a member of the dolphin family. Like that's how they are. They learn things and they pass them on. It's crazy.
That's wild. That's yeah, no kidding. I'm learning all kinds of shit today.
Yeah, but they're killing great white sharks left and right.
You mentioned that these are based on like the worst rides in the history of theme parks. That had to be like an easy job for set constructors. Like you get paid to purposely build shitty things. Like did you have to go on any of these rides?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to do it as much because I was for my part, I'm supposed to be the lifeguard or like a shitty lifeguard, but there is a slide that has a loop in it, like that really existed at the real action park. And people get stuck in the top and things like, and the hard part was making the rides. I mean, like where, like the accident would happen at the right place where the camera could film it, which I think that was a challenge, but yeah, they were sketchy. Like it was a fun place. There was like 300 extras and like that are supposed to be the park goers, and they were just like, all like young adults and they probably weren't getting paid, that much, but they all like were there every day and having a great time. And then they started like making friends with each other. And I guess like crew members were catching them like having sex in like the snack shack and like different buildings in the park, like all over the place. It was
summer for youth.
Yeah, it was total debauchery for them. So they were stoked.
So is this the first time you worked with Knoxville since the last Jackass movie, or have you done things with him since?
Yeah, I think it was the first time I worked with him since then. And, I hope we make another Jackass type, like a proper Jackass thing. And it's possible, I think. But I was just stoked that he like had faith in me and believed in me enough to like ask me to be in this movie. And
yeah,
I think I did a good job working with him and the crew members, like all the Jackass crew members, like we're all like pretty close, and it's always the same people. Like and some of them like came to work on this movie too, and so we had a great time. And then all the young actors they're called the shitbirds in the movie. They're like they're kind of like the people that work at the theme park, but they were all really cool people, and we kind of like bonded a lot while we were there and had a lot of fun. Oh, also, I want to mention after that, just recently, me and Steve went to Puerto Rico to film something that started off as a dog rescue mission, because after the hurricane, all these dogs were displaced, and it was to place homes for them. And then we started thinking of all these ideas, and we're like, oh, why don't we just start something new? And so we stayed there for a little while longer, and we filmed like all the pretty much a whole episode of a new show, and I don't know what the name of it's going to be officially yet because it's got to clear, but it went great. Like it was awesome filming with Steve again. Like, it was like like being on Wildboyz, but it's not trying to be Wildboyz. It's something else. But because anytime you start filming, it just takes a life of its own. But I got hurt really bad too. Like we had a stunt that it seemed like it was going to be no big deal. It was a jet ski tug of war. And so we got a giant, like a bungee cord, a giant one though, really thick one. And we attached it like to belts around our waist, and then we pointed the jet skis in opposite directions and like took off. And whoever like is the first one to get thrown off loses. But then we didn't think it through right, and it was just going to be a funny like side gag, but it ended up being really bad. Like I guess Steve fell off, and I'm just riding, and all of a sudden like I felt a tug. And then all of a sudden, like, what happened was the bungee cord broke, and it snapped, and it was probably 15 feet long, and it stretched out to like 150 feet, And all of a sudden, this thing came back and whipped me in the leg, and in a not like right when it hit me, I was like, oh my god, my leg's broken, and then I was like luckily it wasn't, but I was like, oh my god, I'm just get surgery, and I like waded back to shore, like basically just tumbled back to shore, and we had a guy filming on shore, and I came in like I was like a shipwreck, like castaway, and I'm trying to explain what happened with the accident, and this dog came up and started humping me like a stray dog, and then he started trying to fuck my face, and I, at first it was funny, but then it wasn't funny anymore. And then I had to go to the hospital, and I like crushed some muscle in my leg, and then I had to be on crutches or a cane the whole time, but it ended up being like it was amazing, and I don't want to give away everything on the trip, but
right.
It definitely upped things a lot of the things that we filmed.
Good Lord. So I was going to ask, I mean, it doesn't sound like you guys have like have halted from doing outrageous pranks and stunts, even though you've the years have gone by. Is that still a pretty prominent thing when you all get together, is, ribbing each other? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think it happens naturally. You have to take breaks though, like, which we did in the past, like, you can't do it like even during Jackass movies, we'd film for like 2 weeks and then take like 2 weeks off and film.
A healing break?
Yeah, you need a healing break. That's the key. Because if you don't do that, then you burn out, or you just end up just too, like, even little things like add up. That's what happened on Wildboyz. Like, it was too much work. Sometimes we'd be away for too long filming constantly, and then we just end up really sore. To put it lightly.
So you just have like these nagging injuries. I'll get it out. That just keep.
Yeah. But no, we're in pretty good shape, like, and we're pretty good at falling too, except for Knoxville. He's not very good at falling, but that's probably a good thing. Like, but the guys that came from like a skateboard background, they're good at rolling out of things and all that.
Yeah. Well, mention like injuries and stuff. I have some listener questions that I want to toss out to you.
Okay.
What is the most painful skit or prank that you've been involved in?
The Glove of Ants, by far, in Brazil. In the Amazon, it's a rite of passage when you put on this glove of bullet ants, and you have to wear it you're supposed to wear it for like it's around 8 minutes, and while this like the shaman guy is like singing a song, and these ants are like the most poisonous sting of any insect in the world, and you get stung hundreds of times by them, so I did the whole ritual, and then without thinking, like, when we show this on TV, we're only going to show like 30 seconds of the actual glove being on, probably.
Right.
But I did it right, and it ended up being like the worst. It was the worst than everything I've ever done combined in my life. It was just, and I talked to people since then that like some guys that did a radio show in Australia, and they're like, oh, we did it for 30 seconds, and then went on morphine, and still it was horrible. And that was like, they didn't give me any morphine. Like, I had to buy my own ice and just put my arm in like a trash basket full of ice like all night long. Like, it was the worst night of my life, and like, my hand looked like Mickey Mouse, and there was no escaping. Like, there's no escaping the pain. Like, that was the worst night of my life by far. I mean, I've had some pretty bad nights, but
that one took the cake, huh?
Yeah, that one's what comes to mind every time.
What is your highest medical bill?
I don't know. I have insurance, and when we film, it has insurance, and if it was something I have to pay, I don't look at it.
What is the most terrifying creature that has been on or around your genitalia?
Oh, God.
Besides humans.
I think, I had a snake grab hold of my penis, and
right.
The snake. Yeah, I don't like getting bit by snakes terribly anyway. Like, but yeah, to have him his mouth around.
Yeah, when it's your junk.
Yeah, that sucked. Okay. It was funny though.
What advice can you give to any youth who aspires to be like Chris Pontius?
Get a new hero. No, just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just have fun.
That's a pretty good life motto, I think. That's good.
Yeah.
I know you're a vegetarian, so what's on your ultimate grilling out menu as far as like vegetarian food goes?
Well, probably some sort of veggie burger thing. I am grilling actually, but I do eat fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's pretty known that I'm a vegetarian, but I've always eaten fish. I kind of never said that I didn't, and I know the fish isn't a vegetable, but I'll probably eat it. I ate lobster today, and it was good.
I've always had that debate as to whether fish is technically a meat. It's
definitely not a vegetable.
Right. Have you ever had that argument, like where it's just a perpetual argument you can't finish, like you can't really argue it one way or the other?
I just say I don't eat land animals.
Okay, yeah, that works.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I just don't. For a lot of reasons. I don't love everything. I'm pretty picky about where I get my fish from. Like, I don't love everything about the fishing industry. I don't just eat like garbage fish. I'm pretty picky about where I get it.
So as far as your playlist goes, what's your ultimate grilling playlist? Like when you grill, what do you typically listen to?
I don't know. It's so vast.
Do you have a favorite of the moment, like somebody you're really into right now?
God. I'm
like Christopher Cross.
I'm kind of into David Bowie right now.
Yeah?
Yeah. Christopher Cross is great, though. Don't get me wrong. He sings the "Don't Pay the Ferryman" song. I love Christopher Cross. I mean, the songs I know.
Picture you in the Bunny the Lifeguard outfit, just listening to Sailing and tossing some veggie burgers on like a little hibachi or something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna let I'm gonna be with so many people that are gonna be controlling the music, and all of them are really good at playing the guitar. So pretty much, we just think of any song we want to play, and someone knows how to play it. So, yeah, I don't know what it'll be. It's pretty broad.
Do you still play? I know you're a guitar player. You've been in some bands and stuff. Do you still play?
Yeah, not enough though. But I love it. And I'll never be very good, but but I love it. Yeah, and I wrote some new songs recently that I'm going to put out.
Oh, awesome! Should we look for that somewhere?
It's going to be on the soundtrack of the new show that me and Steve do.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So, are you shopping that around the networks? Like, what's the release plan for that? Any idea?
Not yet. We had to wait for some stuff because Steve was in the middle of finishing up a comedy special, and then I was busy promoting Action Point, and so now we're getting. And I was hurt for like 3 months after that incident, but so
you're good now though.
I'm good now. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a slow heal, but I'm pretty much better. Yeah,
so
you should look for it. Yeah, you'll know about it in fall probably.
Okay, awesome, fantastic. If folks want to follow you, see what you're up to, where can they find you online?
My Instagram is Chris Pontius. Facebook is Chris Pontius, and I have a Twitter that I recently took control of. Someone else was doing it. A stranger was pretending to be me, but I just got my name back, and that's Chris Pontius as well. And I'm also going to be doing a podcast very soon, like yourself.
So where can we? You got any ideas where that's going to be located, or when it's going to launch? Have you started recording it?
That's being figured out this week actually, but I will let you know.
Absolutely, we'll post some links up and get the word out.
Hell yeah.
Chris Pontius, man, thanks for all the laughs, man, like throughout the childhood and beyond. I've always really just admired the hell out of you, and I know you're crazy busy, so I appreciate you spending some time with me today. Hopefully you'll come back and we could talk like, Thanksgiving recipes in a few months or something.
For sure. Awesome. Good talking to you.
You bet. Chris Pontius, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
The Beau Cephas Broadcast.
Salt Life. Show the world how much you love surf and sand. Salt Life. Set in motion your affection for the ocean with a Salt Life bumper sticker. Salt Life. Never been to the ocean? Who gives a shit? Stick one of these bumper stickers on your rusted-out hoopty and let the world know how much you love the sun in your face and the spray of Mother Nature's vapors on your farmer's tan. Salt Life. Let your fellow motorists know just how easygoing and Jack Johnson-esque you are by slapping this adhesive piece of garbage on the bubbled-up window tint of your back glass. Salt Life. Salt Life. Because maybe one day, you'll learn there are bodies of water outside the Mississippi River or your annual float trip destination. Salt Life.
Now, back to the Beau Cephas broadcast.
All right, that is going to do it for episode 68 of the Beau Cephas broadcast. Thanks, as always, for listening. A big thanks. I still cannot get... This is another one to add to the list of, holy cow, I can't believe I interviewed that person. Big thanks to Chris Pontius and his team for setting up this interview. That's been, man, that's just still crazy to me. If you want to help the show, please take a moment to review it wherever you were listening, on whatever platform you were listening. Reviews, like I always say, help the show reach new audiences. Follow along, engage with the post on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find the show at facebook.com/Beau Cephas broadcast. Twitter and Instagram, simply follow at BeauBcraft. If you've got questions, comments, concerns, hate mail, guest ideas, products you want to pitch, maybe you want to sponsor the show, I'm more open to that now. You can shoot an email over to BeauCephasBroadcast@gmail.com. You can do the same on the hotline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year at 872-222-8610. Again, that number is 872-222-8610. You can also support the show when you purchase the official Beau Cephas broadcast t-shirt, available on Amazon.com right now. All you got to do is head over there, search for Beau Cephas broadcast, choose your style, size, color, fit, all that stuff, and snag it for only $19.99. Plus, it's eligible for Prime shipping, and of course, Prime Day is coming up. I don't know if that's going to be a hot seller for Amazon or not, but yeah, get the official t-shirt, wear it, send us a photo of you wearing it. That's awesome for me. I saw that actually on July 4th. Alta King is a very new, loyal listener, and she was sporting the first baby blue Beau Cephas broadcast t-shirt that I've seen, so that was very cool. Either way, those are the best ways to get in contact with us. Lots of great guests coming up over the next month. I know I see this every week, but all kinds of cool stuff, at least for me, and hopefully you'll enjoy it as well, including the creator of the classic game, The Oregon Trail, Don Rawich, is coming up in just a couple of weeks. And next week, we're going to visit with Dave Paulson, who recently released a new concept album called Sandusky, Ohio. And I say a concept album because this is actually a tribute to the movie Tommy Boy. I had a fun chat with Dave last week, and you're going to hear it next week. I'm going to go ahead and enjoy what's left of this beautiful weather. Enjoy your week as well, and we'll see you back here in 7 days, Craig David, for episode 69, you dirty perverts, of the Beau Cephas broadcast. We'll catch you then.
You've been listening to the Beau Cephas broadcast.
Infirmary Media.